In this unit, our learning target is I can add and subtract three-digit numbers using place value. For today, your success criteria is I will know I'm successful when I can subtract numbers with 0 in any place value. Watch as I solve this problem, and I really want you to be thinking about how I am talking aloud to myself. I'm doing what good mathematicians do, and that is saying the steps aloud. Now, sometimes it's easier to do it in your head, but I really want you to be thoughtful today about doing that. So I have this voice symbol here, and I really do want you to be thinking about what saying each step and thinking about each step as you go. So first, I have a problem here, 704 minus 367, and I have lined up my place values. Please make sure that the first thing you check for is that you've lined up your place values. That's a very important step and one where I see lots of mistakes. Next, I'm going to start in the ones place. I'm going to subtract 4 minus 7. Well, I don't have enough ones, so I need to go get more ones, and I know that when I need more ones, I always go to the tens place. But my tens place has 0. What do? Well, I know that I need to make tens so that I can make ones. So the first thing I need to do is to go to my hundreds place because I know that to get more tens, I always go next door to the hundreds place. So I'm going to go over to the hundreds, ungroup one of my 10 hundreds. I'm going to take one away, and that's going to give me 10 tens. 10 tens is the same thing as 100. Now I have more tens, but I haven't solved my problem here. I haven't made more ones. I haven't ungrouped in a way that I could get more ones. So now I need to take care of this problem. I need to take this 10 tens I just created and ungroup a second time in this tens place. I need to take one 10, which makes 9 tens, and now that's going to give me more ones. So I notice though, I have 14 ones. I see a lot of times students bringing over a 10 and they write 10 here and they forget that they already had 4 ones. So be very careful that you take the 10 ones that you brought over from the tens place, and that you join that or you add that to the 4 ones or the however many ones that you already have. So my 14 is the 10 I brought over plus the 4 I had. 14 minus 7 is 7. Now I can subtract because I no longer have more on the floor. Now I have 9 minus 6, and I need to ask myself, do you have more on the floor? It is critical that every time you subtract a place value, you think, do I have more on the floor? And no, I do not. So I can simply subtract. 9 minus 6 is 3, and 6 minus 3 is 3. All right, now that you've seen how talking aloud can help you, let's go here. Here's a problem, and I want you to solve it. Pause the video and solve the problem now. All right, how did you do? Well, hopefully yours looks something like this. You lined up your place values, you started in the ones place, and you subtracted, but you have a 0. So you need to make sure that you ungroup a 10. That gives you 3 tens, and then you'll have 10 ones. Now this time, there were no ones here. So really what you're seeing here is 10 plus 0 ones because I didn't have any ones. So now I can subtract my ones place. 10 minus 8 is 2. And now I'm in my tens place. And what's the magic question? Do you have more on the floor? Please be careful to always check to see if you need to ungroup. In this case, I don't need to. I simply can subtract because 3 is greater than 2. 3 minus 2 is 1, and 3 minus 1 is 2. Hopefully that wasn't a terribly hard problem. Let's try one more with the 0 in the tens place instead of the ones place like the last one. Pause the video now, please, and solve this problem. Great! Hopefully what you did looks something like this. You start with 507, line up your place values for 479, so everything is lined up nicely, and then start in the ones place. Uh-oh, I have 7 minus 9, and I can't do that. So I need to go to my tens place, but I don't have any tens. So what do I do now? Absolutely. I jump over to the hundreds place. I need to get more tens so that I then can make more ones. So I'm going to ungroup a 100. That will leave me with 4. Now I need to, where does the 100 go? It always goes to the tens place. So 10 tens makes 100, and I do not have any tens here already, so I don't need to add what I'm bringing over to anything. So now I have 10 tens, and I need to still do something so that I can get more ones, because remember, I'm trying to subtract my ones. So I need to ungroup a 10. That gives me 9 tens, and I need to move it over into the ones place. But be careful, what do we need to think about here? Of course, I already have 7 ones. So I can't just write 10 ones. I need to add 10 plus the 7 I already have, which makes 17. Now I can subtract because I no longer have more on the floor. 17 minus 9. If you don't know the answer to 17 minus 9, you can always count up from 9 to 17. I know the answer, and hopefully by now you know your math facts enough to know that 9 plus 8 is 17, so 17 minus 9 is 8. And now we can subtract our tens place, but what's the magic question? Do I have more on the floor? Well, I have a 9 minus 7, so nope. I can simply subtract. I don't need to do any more ungrouping. 9 minus 7 is 2, and 4 minus 4 is 0. Now I could write a 0 here. It will not change my number. Remember, this is a 0 that's optional. If a 0 is on the right side, it is not optional, only on the left side. Well, so how can I prove my answer is right? I have an answer here. Remember that addition and subtraction are related. So if I want to prove my answer, and the expectation is today you will prove every answer that you do in your independent practice, I need to take the parts and put them back together to get to the total. So my answer was 28, and the other part when I subtract was 479. I need to put those together to get back to the total. So here's the problem that you just saw. Here's my subtraction problem. And I'm going to set it up like this. I'm going to take 479 and add it to 28, because when I subtract, my parts are the two smaller numbers that end up at the bottom. I'm going to put them back together. 9, I'm going to join them, which means add. 9 plus 8 is 17. I need to regroup that. 10. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus one more that I made when I made a new 10. So now I have 10. And when I have 10, I just write the 0 in the tens place, and 10 tens makes 100. So there's my new 100. 4 plus 1 is 5. The answer is 507. And yes, it checks. My answer is the same thing as my total. Please remember today to check your answers. Let's do one more. This one is a little harder, and what do you notice about it? It has 2 zeros. Remember, our success criteria today is to subtract with 0 in any place value. Well, now we have 2 zeros. Go ahead and solve this problem with me. Get your pen and pencil ready. First, you're going to check the ones place just like you did before. And notice they're all lined up. I have more on the floor, so what do I need to do? I need to go next door. Of course I do, but I don't have anything here. We've already done this before. Where do we go when we need more tens? Yep, we go straight over to the hundreds place. I'm going to take 100. That will leave me with 8. And where did my 100 go? It went to the tens place. So this time I don't have any tens. So I simply write 10. But again, I haven't solved this problem right here. Now I need to ungroup a 10 to make more ones. What does that look like? Do that on your paper quickly. Well, here's what you should have. I need to take a 10. That will give me 9 tens. And when I bring it over to the ones place, it becomes 10. This is only 10, remember, because I didn't have anything here to add to the 10 that I brought over from the tens place. Now I can subtract. 10 ones minus 4 ones is 6 ones. 9 tens minus 8 tens is 1 10, and 8 tens minus 2 tens is 6 tens. Excellent job today, friends. Please go to Google Classroom and solve these problems on your own. You can do them on scratch paper and enter your answers in Google Classroom. Your learning target today, or your success criteria today, was I will know I'm successful when I can subtract numbers with 0 in any place value. And hopefully you are confident as you go off to complete your independent practice. If you do need more help, there are tutorial videos in Google Classroom. Feel free to watch them. You can complete the practice pages in Seesaw. That is a must-do. And then go over to iknowit.com and complete one of your assigned assignments. Have fun.